Imagine walking into a room ready to sign the biggest deal of your career, $500 million on the table, only to be mocked and disrespected by the very people you came to partner with. What happened next shocked everyone and left the billionaire family wishing they'd kept their mouths shut. In the world of high-stakes business, respect can be worth more than money. This is the story of Maya Thompson, a trailblazing black woman CEO who built her empire from nothing, only to face public humiliation from one of America's richest families on the very night they were supposed to sign a $500 million deal. What happened next became a moment the business world will never forget. It all began in the grand ballroom of a luxurious New York hotel. Glittering chandeliers hung overhead, casting warm light over tables dressed in fine linen and silver. The event was meant to celebrate the signing of a historic partnership between one of the country's most prestigious billionaire families and a rising tech empire led by a woman who had broken every barrier in her path. Her name was Maya Thompson, a black woman CEO who had built her company from a small home office to a global powerhouse worth billions. She had been invited as the guest of honor, with every camera in the room ready to capture the moment this $500 million deal became official. But what was meant to be a celebration quickly turned into something far darker. As Maya took her seat at the long mahogany table, the eldest son of the billionaire family, Richard, leaned over to his mother with a smirk. His voice wasn't low enough to be discreet. "It's cute they're letting her run the show," he said, his tone dripping with mockery. "I guess diversity quotas really are paying off." The family chuckled, their laughter echoing in the silence of the table. Maya heard every word. So did others. A few guests looked down awkwardly, pretending not to notice, but the damage was done. They didn't stop there. The patriarch of the family, a man named Charles Whitmore, stood up to make a toast. Instead of acknowledging Maya's achievements, he leaned into stereotypes, joking about how this must be a big step up from whatever small shop she used to run. The room's polite smiles felt like daggers. Cameras flashed, and while some of the media caught her poised smile, no one could see the storm building behind her eyes. Maya had faced prejudice before. Doors slammed in her face, investors who doubted her, boardrooms where her words were ignored. But this was different. This wasn't subtle bias hidden behind polite phrases. This was open, public humiliation from the very people she had been preparing to trust with her company's future. She sat silently through the remainder of the dinner, her mind no longer thinking about the contract in her bag, but about the respect that contract could never buy. After the meal, the press gathered in the next room for the official signing. The Whitmores stood at the podium, smiling for the cameras, waiting for Maya to join them. Instead, she walked slowly to the microphone. Her voice was steady, but every syllable cut through the air like glass. She thanked the guests for attending, acknowledged the months of negotiation, and then paused. "I came here tonight ready to sign a deal that would have changed both of our futures," she said, looking directly at the Whitmore family. "But I believe in partnerships built on respect, and respect is something I did not see tonight." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Photographers leaned in. The Whitmores shifted uncomfortably, their smiles faltering. "Business," Maya continued, "is not just about numbers, it's about values. And I will not sign away $500 million to people who think belittling others is entertainment." With that, she stepped away from the podium, leaving the contract unsigned on the table. Within hours, the story exploded online. Video clips of her speech went viral. Hashtags praising her courage trended worldwide. Major outlets ran headlines about the CEO who walked away from $500 million. Investors called her office not to criticize, but to offer new opportunities with people who valued her worth. Meanwhile, the Whitmore family faced a wave of public backlash. Sponsors pulled out of their ventures, activists called for boycotts, and their carefully crafted reputation began to crumble. In trying to humiliate Maya, they had only managed to humiliate themselves. Maya didn't just walk away from a deal, she walked into a legacy. She proved that no amount of money was worth compromising dignity, and that sometimes the most powerful move in business is knowing when to say no. Maya's decision to walk away wasn't just about rejecting a deal. It was about sending a message heard around the globe. Dignity is priceless. The billionaire family lost far more than money that night, and Maya proved that true power lies not in the size of your bank account, but in the strength to stand up for yourself when it matters most.